Zahra because for me she was more than a close friend. She was like a sister. And I have to say that I miss her a lot. Because whenever there was something that bothered me or I had any issues, all I had to do was call Zahra or spend time with her. And somehow, the burden on my shoulders would just vanish. And she had so much patience to listen to what other people were saying. She was a great listener. And at the end of it, she would say something so sincerely and from her heart that you just felt that you just felt better at the end of it. And she was always very generous, very with advice, with her time, and with her friends. I could call her anytime. I just had this feeling that I can call her anytime, and she would be there for me, and she was. Even if I made a frivolous phone call and said, "Oh Zahra, I'm cooking this, just can you tell me?" She would stop whatever she was doing. She would give me a detailed recipe, and whenever I saw her next, she would ask me how it had turned out. And her generosity, as I said, extended to her friends. Whenever it was her heart's desire to introduce her friends to all the other friends. She wanted all her friends to know each other. And if for some reason they didn't, if they were living in different cities, she would somehow bring them together. And actually that's how I met Siddiqa, through Zahra. I was in Islamabad and I was staying at the Islamabad club. And she knew I was there, so she phoned me and she said, how long are you here and where are you staying? I said, I'm staying at the Islamabad club. She said, no, you're not. You're coming right here to Siddiqa's. I said, Zahra, but I don't know Siddiqa. She said, doesn't matter. I know her. You come along. And because Zahra called me, I went. And that's how I got to know Siddiqa. She was she was generous to a fault in every way. And I remember that last year when I had just arrived at the London Heathrow airport and I went to the Emirates lounge and the television was on and it said PTI leader shot in Karachi. And I said, oh my God, who could that be? I must ring up Zahra and ask her. And before I could call her, my daughter Shema called me and told me it was Zahra. And both of us cried on the phone. And I think that whole night we were just on and off talking to each other and crying and talking about Zahra. And I just can't express what a loss it has been for me. Because, as I said, more than a friend, I have lost my confidant, I have lost somebody I admire deeply. Her commitment and devotion to whatever cause she espoused, whether it was PTI or any other cause that she felt about deeply, it was total. And it was something that she just became so passionate about. And she just wanted to, whatever her dreams were about this country, about improving the lot of women, about political freedom, there was no agenda to it at all. No personal ambition, it was just to make a difference in a way that would impact people's lives. That was Zahra. And it's absolutely unthinkable to ever hear Zahra say anything negative about anyone. She always saw the best in people. She was such a positive person, such an optimist. And she felt that, she would just ignore anybody's weaknesses. And she would always feel very good about them, very positive. And it was the same with the country. No matter how disappointed she was, she wouldn't sit there and complain. She would start ringing up people. And she would ask them, she would motivate them and inspire them to become active citizens, to become good citizens, and to protest when the need for it was there. And I think it was this, her activism and her commitment that eventually she actually gave her life up for it. and that was Zahra. She really went in a blaze of contribution and commitment to the country. She gave her life for this country.